Yo, it's Apache Chief. What's going down? It's been a long time since October since I made a video. So basically, I just wanted to give you a narrative of the last couple of months that I've seen on the YouTube world, pop culture world, and what I've seen and what my impression is of, you know, the movies and comics that are out there. Well, first and foremost, rest in peace, Stan Lee. I was not able to basically make a video or comment upon him, but I want to let you know that first and foremost, we're starting off now. A few seconds of silence for the great comic innovator, creator, Stan Lee. Now, my prayers and condolences to those who have suffered at Sri Lanka. You know, the ritual abuse of the cathedral of Notre Dame. Obviously, Christianity is, definitely attacked, and that was the 9/11 of France, upon this beautiful cathedral that I have gone to see. Now, again, the French people are kind of rude where I've gone to their land, but I do feel for them as far as this situation, but the church will survive because, God finds a way. Now, the media calling Christians Easter worshippers. Listen, screw you. We're Christians. We're not pagans. We don't worship Ishtar. Get it right. I know what you're doing, and what you're doing is wrong, and you're going to be exposed. And this video is one of those exposures. But to still stay on a decent high note on the rise of Skywalker. So, Star Wars fans, do you think this movie's going to make it? Do you think that basically, Disney and the House of Mouse will be able to basically pull, another fast one over us, on us, with Daisy Ridley breathing hard, in darkness. We didn't know what to expect, but I was like, what's going on here? When I was breathing, well, she's tired, flipping over ties and stuff like that. I'm not impressed. It's just like, and those who were, you're easily impressed. I watched the trailer and I was like, it's just like, I don't know what to feel. I didn't feel anything. It's just like, I hope it's good. And even when I heard Palpatine's laughter, it just feels like a giant nostalgia bucket. Oh, I felt a little something when I saw Lando with Chewie. But then I think of Solo, and I wonder if anything from Solo is going to creep into this movie, which I hope it does not. But if Billy D would take any of those elements, I'm sure he would be able to reclassify it, make it more classy, because he's an experienced actor. Now, The Mandalorian, that series looks like it's going to be hot, real hot. You know what I'm saying? There were some YouTubers and other friends of mine that were like discussing whether this show was going to make it. I believe that it is. When I saw that entry where basically he comes in, the silver badass armor, into the lair, where basically probably ISB, which is Imperial Security Bureau, is hiring him for a job, and the actor that basically plays opposite of the Mandalorian, the intrigue that he created within the scene, as he spoke to him, was very breathtaking. I definitely felt something. I was allured with that, and then the confidence of the Mandalorian. Even though you couldn't see the actor's face, the menace of the armor and its format, basically lets you know that, hey, these guys who wear these suits are no joke. And the stormtrooper that said, "We got you 4-1," he was like, "I'll take those odds." And of course, basically, I can imagine everybody's reaction. It's just like when you would hear, see, and feel that. So this show is gonna cut it, and that actor in there is no joke. So it's just like, so the House of Mouse is full of rats, and it's propping one up called Brie Larson. Obviously, you and your co-actors do not get along. I've seen some interviews, and I've seen your behavior. And, I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I know that Marvel and Disney is trying to promote their Marvel brand using Captain Marvel, I get it. You know, they want to paint you as the new face of Captain America. 7 reboots, 7 years. You know, there's something about significant of the number 7 as well, and you're not cutting it. So it's just like, you know, you push in alternative lifestyles, different narratives, and not story. You know, at least what you should have done, Marvel, was keep her in her black costume, keep her sexy. You want to compete with Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman is sexy. You needed to keep the black costume. You needed to keep the long hair. It was, it's just like, you know, a perfect opening to would have been like, hey, you know, take this pretty, you know what I'm saying, this pretty character, put her in an alien setting where she's actually, in a dance bar, stripping or something like that, and then basically she doesn't know who she is, but she's this powerful cosmic character, you know, and then have what I'm saying the She-Hulk finder or Sue Richards, going into an alien bar and what I'm saying, go on the scroll hunting tip, where basically the Skrull invasion could have been gone, or even an aftermath of that, and then you reverse the roles of the Skrulls. I mean, from what I've heard, I'm not going to see, Captain Marvel because it's The Last Jedi Part 2, and I'm not going to see Endgame because that's The Last Jedi Part 3. So it's just like, so Disney and Marvel, so far you lost me. Even on Endgame, I'm not going to see it. I'm not interested. I know that there's going to be a lot of woke factor and narrative, and I'm not interested in seeing more characters die. You know what I'm saying? Dying at the hands of Thanos was fine by me. That's where it ended. I'm probably not going to watch your movies anymore, or again, I'll see if I get a bootleg of it. And if I get a bootleg of it and I watch it and I like it, then I'll spend some money in the movie theater. But I'm not ready to sit for 3 hours, and watch garbage. So, Supergirl crossover with the Nazis is back in the day. I really, really enjoyed that. Anything with Nazis, I love. Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know what I'm saying? Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones fighting Nazis, Captain America, Red Skull, Nazis, love it. On that tip, there was a comic book writer with the initials of EVS, said that I was anti-Semitic. I'm a Christian. I can't be anti-Semitic if I'm a Christian because that religion comes from the Jews. Well, so, but I know that you also tried to turn some YouTubers against me, and then I just took a step back, and I watched that group implode. So it's just like, DC app, 2007, read issue 7. Again, we're on the 7th. But, of course, it introduces a great villain, which I love, which is Mongo. Mongo basically fights, the Green Lantern and Green Arrow, which, again, is kind of like a lower tier of a Superman and, Batman kind of relationship between the two Green brothers. Which I did. And, the comic was hard and fast. They defeated him, but then again, they fell victim to the Black Mercy plan. So again, a little red herring in there, and I dug it. It was cool, and I can't wait to read the next issue. DC is definitely doing it. And then I read Justice League Rebirth issues 1 and 2, where again they introduced Godzilla, Gaiju style type giant monsters with the ability to mind control, and the Justice League is overwhelmed. And Lois Lane and Clark are at home, and they're the Lois and Lane and Clark of like kind of the original narrative of how fans want to remember their heroes. So so they're in this new 52 universe, and they're settling in. And basically Lois is trying to basically convince, Clark that, hey, they lost their Superman, you need to get in there and help them out. I mean, look at them, they're fighting this overwhelming monster. They just can't do it without you. And he steps in to fill the shoes, and of course Batman scowls, we need to watch him. And again, it's very fast and loose, but it's quick, the art's fantastic, and then issue 2 was a little bit more the same. Again, you have these bioengineered giant monsters that come. So they're on this biomechanical giant monster tip. The narrative is the same, but it is 2 different type of, alien species from both issues that end up invading the Earth, and it's just like it's just kind of still relationship building between the group and the new Superman. But I did enjoy both issues. I thought they were really really good. And then I read Action Comics 957, where Lex Luthor takes the emblem of Superman and is kind of, he's in a, Tony Stark kind of Iron Man type armor, wearing the shield of Superman. And when Superman sees that, and of course he's like, what? He's like, yo, take that off. And, Superman kind of, draws a little bit first blood, try to touch him, and then he hits some kind of electromagnetic energy field. And then Superman gets, since he doesn't have that blow through invulnerability, that he still is, affected by energy because he's an energy absorber. Certain energies basically do annoy him on certain frequencies. So he goes off on them. And, it's a good read. It's a fun read. And they're trying to, establish a new relationship between these two characters that were arch enemies. But again, there's, different Superman and a different Lex Luthor from two alternate Earths or two alternate dimensions. So, Titan show, love the series, thought it was great. I know some people having issues with mostly the Starfire of the group. I love the black actress. She is definitely a new type of Starfire. I tell you that. She is not Starfire, but I do like the portrayal, of this character, and I get it. It's a live action show. We don't have aliens walking the streets. So again, I understand why they made, the girl black, to give it just a more human element. But, she coming from an ancient race, so, I have to create a little bit of headcanon for it, but other than that, I don't have a problem with the actress or anything like that, or that she's black. Again, I would have figured that they should have gotten some other actress that would have been a more Mediterranean descent or Middle Eastern descent, that would have basically complied a little bit, with what the narrative is in the comics. But again, you want to give the role to a black actress, I have no issue with that, and that's fine. But definitely, I have to create headcanon for this particular character. Other than that, I accept everything else. Beast Boy being Asian, again, I know what, they're trying to basically create. As far as giving, more diversity. We also know, but diversity is also being weaponized in the political climate of today. Stop it. Doom Patrol, awesome. I'm loving Doom Patrol. Recently watched the Danny episode, and again, they tried to introduce this, kind of cross-dresser, drag queen kind of like episode, and I loved it. I thought it worked for the episode. This was the first time where I felt like watching this type of narrative was not shoved down my throat, because of Doom Patrol is kind of like horror meets, reluctant superheroes, anti-heroes, so it did work because I never read Doom Patrol, and again, it's just like, it's such an odd universe that apparently putting those narratives there did not bother me. Just like, Star Trek, the new Star Trek, that's a Discovery. A lot of people have issues with Discovery, but those kind of issues do work in a Star Trek universe. Of course, not all Star Trek fans are going to agree with me, but I had no issue. I could take SJW politics in Star Trek and not be bothered by it. But I think I've covered everything that basically I want to discuss, and what I've seen over the last couple of months. It's great seeing you again. It's nice to make videos. Hopefully, you guys will basically like, share, subscribe. The Apache Chief is back. You take care. Be good.